Okay, I really gotta turn my microphone on when I start broadcasting. This is just like the thing that's always gonna bite me. That or, not saving my work as I go. Most I can do at this point is just laugh it off and let's continue forward. So we're gonna work on color contrast, working inside of Krita, another really great free product that I would recommend, having used it several times and have come to a reasonable comfort with. There's still a couple of things where I still fumble my way through, but I'm learning, and it becomes more attractive every time I use it. It's a very powerful tool, probably one of the closer matches I've seen to Photoshop that is out there, and remains free, so go get it now. So I wanted to dig into some pictures I took recently and focus on color contrast. We've done other videos looking at creating vignettes. We've done other videos just about how do we get started and kind of working out the interface. Definitely go check out those videos, either out on Twitch or YouTube. It's out there at, you can connect most easily through my website, natesarall.com. My channel links, my social connections are out there. Come say hi and check those out. But for now, let's continue forward and let's do this one. Let's see where it takes us. So typically I like to begin by just starting out with an overlay of what's already there, because there's a lot of detail that's going to get kind of sucked into the image, if that makes any sense. It's there, the imagery data is there, you just have to coax it out. So we do that, or at least I do that, by taking a first step of adding in an overlay layer to draw out some of the initial colors, and then we work our way from that point. Next thing I like to do is start adding in fill layers. And I've talked about this before in my other videos too. It's just another tactic of trying to bring out the colors of the image. You could do this with color balancing. You could do this with color curves to an extent. I found this to be a really good method because it gives me a lot of control over the channels, and I don't have to go into a plugin to modify it every time. They're in front of me and I can manipulate them at will. So I want to start by bringing out some of the blues. Give me the blues. So we're going to make a full layer of blue and convert that to an overlay type, and that's obviously too extreme, so we're going to back that off just so we can start to pick out those blue extremes. And we're going to do this again. Another fill layer. This time I want to start working on some of the yellow, orange things. We'll probably do another layer for each of those, just to get into those. Same process, exactly the same. So literally what we're doing is we're making our own color channels. And this can also look really cool because it also starts to create a kind of a gradient of what you're making. That's why this is good for this approach, but it can also get too extreme because it can start to distort the color of the image if you overdo it. But like any tool, you use it right, use it appropriately, and then you come out with a win. Alright, the last thing I may throw in there is actually a little bit of purple. Again, these are all just overlays. It's doing some of the work for me in that it's going to pick out the color matched pieces of it and lay it on top. And then I just have to tweak it down and balance it against the other layers that I've put in there. And that's coming to the place where I like that on this image. Last thing I think that needs to be done, really, is I just need to add a little bit of my vignette effect that I'm so fond of on there. maybe one or two things. We'll see. Every photo is a little bit of a journey, so I like to see where it takes me. So for that, we're going to put a paint layer out there. And we need to make sure that our color is set to black, which it already is. And then we're going to use the gradient tool. It's a little too intense. Yeah, it's just still going to back off a little bit here. There we go. It was coming off too strong before. So I'm going to back off the opacity a little bit. And we're also going to do a transform on that. Just to extend that out the outside. Cool. There we go. That off a bit more. Okay. Now the last thing, the reason I raised my eyebrows before is that there's another step that I've really enjoyed doing, and it works out really well. The only kind of gotcha about it is that you have to merge all the layers and then do it, and that part's always a little scary because then you lose your control of what you were doing. So I think I'm happy with the balance of it right now. I've tried to do this with using groups and I couldn't make it work. So this might be another learning opportunity for me. If you know the answer out there, please let me know. But pretty much, yeah, I can make a group of everything, which is great. What I cannot do though is I basically want another version of that. Can I do that? I want to copy the group basically. And I don't see a way to do that. Because I want to keep all the same changes, but not necessarily merge them. I don't see a way to do it. So I think my only choice is to merge the group and then duplicate that. I'm not sure what I just did there. There we go. So I'm going to duplicate that out, and what I like to do, because this is just one more detail that picks out the finer points of it, is I want to desaturate the copy of it. That makes it black and white in Krita terms. We might tweak this just a little bit to get some of those extremes, because there's a lot of highlights and the very dark darks, both ends of the spectrum. We can do that with Luma. And then a little bit of curves. Not sure what just happened to me there. Okay, we'll start that again. My mouse went funny on me. Try again. See if you can tweak it just right. You want to use those extremes to your advantage to pick out the highlights. Just try to make you see those fine things. Okay. And then this is the part I'm getting to, is that we actually use that black and white layer as a final overlay. Always curious to see what that does. It's very subtle. There we go. Okay. I think we have arrived at this one. I always try to come up with clever names. I don't know, this one, to come up with something later. A little bit of a cop-out, I know, but we'll fix that later. Okay. Oh, you know what? I don't think it saved as the right format. I think that's where, yeah, the warning got me. That is exactly what happened. That whenever I see that warning, it always confuses me until I remember that I haven't changed the save format yet. All right, so we got one done. Let's move on to another one. Move on to something a little brighter here. I'm going to pick between one of these two. Let's see which one I like better. I think I like the second one best. Really like the ones that are offset and kind of make you look at them. Like it should be purposefully a little off, just so your eye doesn't look at it and go, yeah, I get it. I like you to look at it and then look at it some more and just try to understand it. That's what a really good image should do. And it shouldn't be like necessarily shocking. Like it should just be something that's that interesting that it's off the usual axis and premise. We're close to the overexposure line on this one, interestingly enough. Vignette should help with that some, but may have to draw that down in the curves. Huh. Because it's just there. Losing the flower there. Okay. Gonna go after our fill layers or color channels. And actually, I'm gonna go after one of the colors that's out there. Specifically work on that. And there's some blue on there. Oh, adding it as an overlay would probably be helpful. There we go. Green would be nice here too, because there's a lot of prominent greens, and just to make those sharp would be great. Just great. Just decide which green. Okay. There we go. Now we could pick something that's a little off the wall on this one. There's like, oh, it's not even off the wall. There's like little hints of orange in this. I'm not sure if we can play with that a little bit. I'm not even sure if I can get it because it's just so subtle. Yeah, not happening. Hey, there we go. Cool. That really brings out those pieces. That's nice. I'm gonna go back to the original layer here and throw in, if I can remember where this is, because I don't use it every now and then. There we go. It's not always necessary. A couple of these macros, sometimes I just need to tighten them up just a hair. Alright, that looks really, really good. Let's get that vignette going. In. Okay, back it off just a hair. Alright, good. Okay, another one. So you can kind of start to see the technique that I'm pushing for here. And this is really, I don't really know that you'll so much find this in descriptions of other photographers, because a lot of the tools will do a good job, as I mentioned, with those other pieces, with the color balancing, with the color mixing, with color channels, with curves. Any of those will do a good job. This is my approach using these different overlay colored layers, because number one, I can directly pick the colors I want to enhance, and two, they're right in front of me and I don't have to keep going back into a tool back and forth to adjust and make tweaks to them. I can do that right there in layer control. So I've just found that to be a much easier way of working on colors. And honestly, I've found it to be a more effective way of drawing out that color contrast that I'm after, and that's what this video is all about, is really kind of making it pop. Alright, we'll do this last step one last time. See what happens. I want to do a group. And then we want to merge. And then duplicate that. I'm accidentally doing something there. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. But anyways, desaturate. Just like the other one, we're going to try to bring out the extremes best we can here. Ooh. There we go. Something that, if you know the answer, I have no idea how to get rid of a point. Oh, there we go. Just finally figured that out. You select it and click delete. It was really easy in paint.net because you would just right-click the point, and I keep doing that, and then I end up making more trouble for myself. So, okay, so same idea here. We're going to overlay that in. You can see it a lot better here, what I was trying to demonstrate on that little beach shot that I shot. It's a lot easier to see here where we're picking out the extremes with this using black and white as an overlay tactic. That is what I was trying to show, and it's much stronger here where the colors are just more vibrant. So hopefully that's a better demonstration of what I was doing. Save the work. Save it. Save it all. Okay. Let's dig into something else. I know there was something out here. Yeah, it was one of these, I think. Did some more flare shots, some more sun flare shots this time around. Let's see if we can grab one that'll work for our purposes here. Maybe. It's kind of get the feeling that this is just going to be somewhat unwinnable, but let's try it anyway. Let's be adventurous. What I mean by unwinnable is that it just looks like it's going to be nearly impossible to balance the shot. Not sure why I did that to myself. Yeah, because it's just there's so much light coming in on this particular one. We will do what we can. Flare effect is really cool, so we'll try to play off that. Just for kicks, let me just see. It's almost a little too much though if we overlay it too much, because then we leach all the color out. Alright. We will add in the pieces that we have to work with here. Yeah, looking for a green. Probably too dark. Let's do that again. Fill layer based on some green. But I want it to be more of like a brighter green and not like a yuck green, something that's got more to it. Yeah, there we go. Because then we can start adding in the kind of life that I'm looking for into this image. Maybe this isn't a lost cause after all. Definitely want to throw in a yellow on there because I don't want to lose the sun. Just got to be careful because the light, yeah, it's a very sensitive light. Gives some more highlight to it. That's nice. Let's keep on going. Go with like a brighter orange because there's some of those burnouts around the flare. And try to capture those. Give that sunlight a little bit of life. I like the warmth of it for sure. It definitely adds an element. I'm just trying to decide where is that fine line of enough. I think that's good. Alright. I don't even think that needs a vignette. I am going to group them though. Merge them. Dupe it. Desaturate. Try to take this opportunity. Pull out our highlights here. But, yeah, don't want to lose the sun flare. you can sort of think of this as kind of like cheating with an alpha matte, maybe. Same idea. Not even really cheating, I'll just call it hacking. Photo hacking, there you go. Just want to force out of the image all that we can. Or at least the interesting parts, anyway. Those are the parts I care about. That actually looks really good. We'll take it. Again, that's kind of the basic premise. We just did 3 images where I was focusing on the color contrast, and to recap very quickly, it was just a combination of creating fill layers where you get that specific control over the colors you want, which is another benefit of doing it that way versus using the color balancing or by curves or whatnot. We also used a black and white kind of sort of alpha matte technique to really pick out the highlights, the light lights, the dark darks, and force those out of the image a little bit. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of how you can do that in Krita. I imagine the idea is also transferable to other photo editing platforms like Paint.net, like Photoshop, like DxO, I imagine, although I haven't used it. I plan to. So give those a shot and let me know how well that worked for you. Again, come find me at natesarallo.com. Connect with all the social platforms on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you thought of this and let me know if it was helpful or not. I do plan to do other videos on some other photo tools just to kind of give you that contrast and a well-rounded perspective on how to get things done and do things a little bit out of the box. So I thank you so much for joining me, for watching, and hopefully you learned something. Keep shooting, keep editing, keep being creative. Look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.